What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with Outpost, and if along with me you've been watching The Mandalorian or been watching reviews on The Mandalorian, at the end of Chapter 8 we had something very interesting happen. So before we get there, spoilers ahead for Chapter 8 of The Mandalorian. With that being said, as Moff Gideon came out of his crashed TIE fighter, which exactly, that's pretty lucky for him to survive that crash, but anyway, we saw he had in his hands the Darksaber. Now, we know that Dave Filoni is involved very heavily with The Mandalorian, and the Darksaber premiered in Dave Filoni's The Clone Wars and also had a big part in Rebels. And it was held by many different people throughout the years, but with the appearance of the Darksaber at the end in Moff Gideon's hands, after not seeing it for a long time, it makes a lot of people speculate, where did it come from, who had it last, things like that. So I decided to make a short video on the history and origins of the Darksaber so we know who has actually held it and where it's been leading up to Moff Gideon. Over 1,000 years before the Battle of Yavin, the Darksaber was built by Tar Vizsla, the first Mandalorian to become a Jedi. After his death, it was kept in the Jedi Temple until it was raided by members of House Vizsla, who used it to kill numerous Jedi and rule all of Mandalore for years. An ancient lightsaber, it had a unique blade, not only due to its color, but also its length and shape. It had a higher pitched sound than typical lightsabers, and its crystal served as a conduit for force energy, sometimes producing an electrical effect due to the wielder's emotions at the time. According to Mandalorian custom, the only way to obtain the Darksaber was by defeating the previous owner in combat. At some point during the Clone Wars, Pre Vizsla, the governor of Concordia and leader of Death Watch, came into possession of it. He was very skilled with the blade, dueling Jedi such as Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ahsoka Tano and living to tell the tale. It was only when he decided to betray the brothers, Darth Maul and Savage Opress, that Pre Vizsla finally bit off more than he could chew. Even with the Darksaber, he would lose in battle to Maul, who summarily executed him with the weapon and used it to claim leadership over the Death Watch. The saber was famously used by Maul to execute Satine, the Duchess of Mandalore, in front of Obi-Wan Kenobi, until he was approached by his former master Darth Sidious and subdued. After he was freed by Prime Minister Almec, it was again in Maul's possession against General Grievous and his forces on Zanbar, and alongside Count Dooku against Aayla Secura and Mace Windu, and again in one final battle against Sidious and Grievous on Dathomir. It was on Dathomir and with Maul where Ezra Bridger and the Mandalorian Sabine Wren would find it. After the Mandalorian protector Fen Rao and Hera convinced Sabine she should use it to help unite House Vizsla, Kanan Jarrus trained her to wield it. Since she did not win it in combat, Sabine's mother Ursa, leader of Clan Wren, disputed her claim to the Darksaber. After betrayal of Clan Wren by Viceroy Gar Paxson, Sabine would go on to defeat Saxon in a duel, becoming the rightful owner of the saber. Sabine would eventually convince Bo-Katan, leader of the Night Owls, to take the saber and help unite the clans as Mandalore. Sometime after that, but prior to 9 years after the Battle of Yavin, Moff Gideon acquired the Darksaber, as seen in Chapter 8 of The Mandalorian. As I stated earlier, Dave Filoni is working on Mandalorian, and leading up to this show, we heard a lot of people ask him questions about what kind of lore he's going to bring in, either from things he's worked on in the past or from Star Wars history, even if he hasn't worked on it. And the Darksaber's always been one of his favorite things to kind of throw into the Clone Wars or Rebels, especially when they're dealing with Mandalorians. So really, it's not really a shock that this turned up, but the way in which it was presented at the end of the season, this cliffhanger really has a lot of people talking about the Darksaber. So hopefully that clears up some things for you. Where we're going from here, it seems pretty clear to me that Season 2, Mandalorian's still going to be doing the thing with the child, and Moff Gideon is still going to be after him. So could we have someone fight Moff Gideon and reclaim the Darksaber and maybe unite the clans of Mandalore once again? I guess that's a question that will be pursued in Season 2. And since Jon Favreau just recently confirmed that Season 2 will be dropping in fall of 2020, that's really the only thing that any fans of Disney Star Wars have to look forward to until then. But let me know your thoughts on this video in the comments below. What do you think is going to happen with Moff Gideon and the Darksaber? I want to know your theories. Let me know. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you guys later. thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.